Hi submarine friends. You're probably wondering what the heck is that submarine doing in the shop instead of floating in the lake up at White Swan? Well, there's been some changes. So the first change is the truck I bought. I ended up not taking that 1978 3-ton or 5-ton, whatever it was. And the reason is I took an identical truck for a drive before I finished the deal, and it was just so grossly underpowered. It just would be a bitch to drive down the road, holding up traffic. Plus, it's two-wheel drive. I really had to be strict on the two-wheel drive, even though I had to spend more money. So, sitting outside in the driveway is a 2001 Ford F550, four-wheel drive with a 7.3 diesel 6-speed. Holy cow, what a truck. So I chose that year specifically because it's the second best diesel engine you can have. Okay, lots of people are going to have their opinions, but it's a bulletproof engine. I drove it 1 hour home from Cranbrook to my home, and I used under 1/8 of a tank of fuel. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And power. Oh, now you put that thing in low range and it would pull this shop over. It's so powerful in low range. Holy cow. So anyways, I've got some big problems with licensing and all that stupid nonsense we have here in Canada. So, well, maybe in the US too, I don't know. I cannot tow this submarine on this trailer with my driver's license behind that truck. But I can tow this submarine with the ballast weight sitting on the deck of the truck, perfectly legal. So I actually wanted to do this anyways because it makes the submarine 6 inches lower. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're fighting to launch a submarine at the lake, it's a really big deal. So what I'm doing, first of all, I'm going to shed 500 pounds off the submarine right off the bat. I'm going to remove these 2 air tanks. I don't need them. I can just use high pressure air tanks inside, and I've got so many of these tanks. I can go to the fire department once, fill 13 tanks, and I'm good for 13 dives. So that's perfectly fine with me. And plus I have a 3000 PSI compressor right there. I just have to put a motor on it. So anyways, these tanks are coming off, and by removing those, I remove 480 pounds of lift, but 350 pounds of weight off the submarine. So, what I'm going to do, remove the tanks, patch the hole with 14 gauge, and then I'm going to cut a big chunk out of this ballast tank, which is 7/16 steel, which is absolutely absurd, but you need the weight. I had the steel, so why not? And I mean, it doesn't matter. It won't rust out in 2 lifetimes. So I'm going to take that chunk out on each side and replace it with 14 gauge. Perfect. Nothing wrong with that. That is going to take 500 pounds total off the back of the submarine. So there's 500 pounds gone. Doesn't affect the submarine one little bit because I'm removing buoyancy and removing the equal amount of weight. So it stays exactly the same for balance. Then I'm going to put a series of rollers under the hull. The hull is going to sit flat on the deck of the trailer on the same rollers. It still needs to be able to roll. Then I'm going to build a small crane on the back of my F550, and I'm going to build it by stealing the 2 extensions out of my crane, which I have never used. I've never even pulled them out. I don't need them. So I'm going to whip up a crane real quick, just manually swing it by hand for now, because it doesn't matter. And maybe just a bottle jack to raise it. It's going to be quick because I want to get in the lake. And I've got all winter and all summer to build a really nice crane. So that's what I'll do. So the crane is going to lift round cylindrical weights off the deck of the truck, swing around, and set them right on the side of the submarine, and then they'll just roll into place. Beautiful. Brilliant. I'm just tickled pink with it. The round cylinders are not going to create very much drag at all because they're long. They're going to be concrete, painted black, so nobody will know what they are. They'll look like battery tanks or something. And they're going to be loaded up with steel inside because the front needs more weight than the back. So their front cylinders are going to be filled up with steel grater blades cut to length. So I'm going to have 3-foot lengths so that the pieces are manageable in weight, because I don't want to build a crane that's thousands of pounds that can reach out 15 feet. So if it's only 250 pounds, you don't need much of a crane to lift 250 pounds, even 15 feet out. So that's the plan. Now you're thinking, holy cow, this is a really big project. It's not. I already this morning took the Submarine off the trailer. I cut the brackets for the keel, so the keel is missing. So today I'm going to fabricate the rollers to go under the hull. And then as soon as those are fabricated, I can take it out again and weigh it. I need to weigh it, and then I need to take the existing keel, I need to weigh that so that I put the precise amount of weight back. Whatever I'm short taking weight off, then I'm going to cut this panel out of the back to the exact amount that I need. So I may still need some weight back here. So this is my buffer. So whatever I'm short on weight there, I can adjust by how big of a plate I cut out of the back here. So again, 7/16 steel. That's what the tank was, that's what I had, so that's what I used. But it only needs to be 14. I'm not sure if it's 14 gauge or 16 gauge that I have. I've got a big round tube that's 14 or 16 gauge, and there's enough material in that. I'll just take my metal cutting skill saw, cut the pieces out that I need real quick, cut these out, weld them in. It's really quick. This is all really quick. I don't have to do any modifications inside the Submarine because it's already built to take air from the high pressure tank. So really all I have to do is throw an extra tank in for reserve, and that part of it is all done. Disconnect the air line that goes from these tanks to the hull. There's already a stop valve inside. I could just turn it off, leave it off, put a plug in the back underneath. I'm done. So this is not a big project at all. Then the 550 Ford that I bought has a 16-foot deck, so I have to chop the deck down. That's a quick job. And I have to install a bumper hitch. Now, I ordered that hitch yesterday. It's going to take a week to get here. Well, I expect in that week to have the Submarine all ready and ready to go back in the water. So really no wasted time. Unfortunately, the truck didn't come with a hitch. Most 550s don't have a bumper pull hitch. They have a fifth wheel hitch because their carrying capacity is so enormous. That truck is a tank. Oh man, and it's really nice. Cruise control, air conditioning, power windows, power mirrors, power seats. Like, it's pretty darn nice. Now, I don't like all that stuff, but there's only 3 of these trucks for sale within 500 kilometers of my house, like in that year. I don't want newer because they're just plagued with problems. So I can afford to buy a truck with higher miles on it because it's only used for pulling this Submarine around. So, you know, I've got about 150,000 kilometers at least left in this truck, at least. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put that many kilometers on it. So we're in good shape. The truck was not that expensive. I can afford it, no problem. So that's the plan. I know I'm crazy, but I might as well get it all set up so that I can go to the lake, take it out of the lake, go to another lake, and just keep going to lakes and keep having fun instead of, you know, trying it here, modifying it, trying it there, modifying it. I might as well just get it all out of the way right now, and then I can hit the lakes hard and go have some fun. So that's what's happening. I got to get to work. So, ciao.